Welcome back to another episode of Soul Hygiene, my brave and beautiful humans. Today I have a wonderful friend of mine with me. We've been working on getting together for about 6 months, but I'm so excited to finally have her here. This is Miss Tia Cristy. I always say Miss or Mister, but Miss Tia, and she is such an amazing person. She does so much. I'm not even sure how she does everything that she does, but if you guys haven't experienced her, you're going to now, and I'm super excited for her to share with us, what she's been up to, where you can find her. She does this amazing, she has an amazing website called Tips for Tia, and
Tips
she just
from,
tips
tips
from Tia.
from.
Thank you. And she just like goes into these different things that help in the house and with your health. So I'm super excited to introduce her to the world. Yay.
Thank
Welcome
you
to
so
the show.
much, Tracy. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, it's so good to be here, Miss TJ. Like, we really have been trying to get together for quite
Yeah,
some time. You've been putting up with it's coming, it's coming.
it's
But yeah,
okay.
I had a lot going on. A lot
You
going on.
did. You had just got done with TEDx,
Yes,
right?
yes,
TEDx Wilmington.
TEDx.
How did that go?
It went wonderful. As you know, I do volunteer, so it's kind of like co-organizing for TEDx Wilmington, and it's wonderful. It's magical. It's exhausting. It's exciting. It's everything. It's everything all put into a bottle, shaken up, and then just the cork goes. And at the end of it, we all just celebrate. So
Yeah.
it's fabulous. It's really incredible. And I get to do my Journey to TEDx Wilmington podcast on that day where we talk with the speakers just as they come off the stage. So yeah, it's a lot. And we call it a weekend, a TEDx weekend, but people just keep coming earlier and earlier. So now it is actually a TEDx week. So by the time I'm done, I have no voice left.
I can I could not see fitting everything into one weekend, so I can see why it's expanded to a week
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Miss
And
T is the one
yeah,
that gets people ready for TEDx.
I
So, what is it called? Ready Speaker One, I think is what it's called. And
yes, I was
so
just named CEO about 6 or 7 months ago for Ready Speaker One. That was founded by Dr. Dan Young, and it's an incredible program to help people get ready for a TEDx stage, any TEDx stage. But you know, we are different than our competitors because we actually teach people what not to do, which is, I think, first and foremost important on what
yeah.
not to do when it comes to a TEDx, because it's a lot different than just getting up on a stage and speaking. As you know, I have a very large background in radio. I did that for many, many, many years, and I've spoken in front of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. And when I did my TEDx, probably close to 3 years ago now, there was nothing like it. Nothing like it. It was unnerving, amazing. It was the bucket list item of the career. You know, it
Yeah.
was it was really intense. And there's so many rules and regulations that go into it. So I laugh. I'm a big researcher. You know this about me. And I did a lot of research on figuring out what was okay and not okay when it came to TED
Mhm.
organizations. And I laugh because I'm starting to get the nickname TEDx Whisperer. You know, they're like,
Oh.
you're the TEDx Whisperer, you know. So I'm like, nope, that will not be approved. No, no, yeah. So
Well, you'll be helping me in about a year, so I'm
love it.
excited. I'm
I
excited.
can't
That's
wait.
on my bucket list, so yeah, I'm excited. I know we had, oh, what did we meet? Like 2 years ago, I think we first started talking,
Yes.
introduced through another good friend of mine, Jim, who's also, been on the show, so I'm pretty excited that I know both of you. But, the one thing that I wanted to, catch up with you on is how is your health? Like, I know that we both experience, health issues. How are you keeping up with that with everything else going on around you?
Everything else, yeah, no, it's great actually. I've been doing wonderful. Um, as you know, I got sick and I hate saying this because there's no agenda here or anything like that. But I got sick from the vaccine during
Yeah.
pandemic, and it caused Graves' disease, which was just a horrible, horrible experience. And that is hyperthyroid for those that don't know. And basically, it just destroys very quickly everything. So I was able to, um, I tried the anti-thyroid drugs, and I was allergic to them, which was no surprise because, I'm a unique child.
Yeah.
And you know, us beautiful unicorns, we have our ways. But it was one of those things where, they instantly were like, you need to have surgery done, or we need to radiate that. And I did not jump when they said, because thank God I know like a lot about nutrition and different things like that, but I also know my body. And you and I've had these conversations many times where um, there had to be another way. The thyroid was just the messenger saying something was wrong. And obviously, we knew where it came from. So we knew that there had to be a process to alleviate that. And I started going natural. I went gluten free for 6 months. It was the easiest and hardest thing I ever did in my life. Um, yeah, I was like constantly starving. And then I realized it wasn't helping. It wasn't doing anything for me because I did not have a gluten problem. So I went back to that and I was like, okay, now I'm a little bit more pleasant because I wasn't hangry all the time. Uh, but I started going natural with herbs and vitamins, and I started feeling better. Within like 2 weeks, I started feeling better. All my symptoms started going away. And it took about a year for all of my levels. So within a couple weeks, my T3 and T4 normalized. But it took about a year, maybe 12, maybe 14 months, for my TSH to normalize. So I am in full remission now, and
That's
I've been doing great.
wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I know, like, when we've talked about, I think we met right after, um, I was in the hospital with COVID. I had just gotten off my oxygen, and I think we had met, because we were talking about all the symptoms and stuff, and there's one that I don't know if it'll ever go away, but I constantly smell burning plastic. Um,
Wow.
not constantly, I shouldn't say constantly, but every once in a while, I'll be laying in bed, I'll just smell burning plastic. I'll be at Walmart or wherever I'm shopping, I'll smell burning plastic, and it literally makes me nauseous, and I have to go to the car, get some fresh air, but it
Incredible.
just comes out of nowhere. So, I think it was being on the high force of oxygen that I was on for so long, because
Hmm.
I do have, like, a hole in my nose now because of it, so
Right.
I'm thinking that was it. I mean, there were so many people that suffered, and that's minute compared to, everyone else who wasn't a miracle like me, Like, I'm very blessed. I know every day I'm a walking miracle, and I intend to continue to be, so, yeah,
Amen,
it's
sister.
yeah,
Amen.
for sure. So, yeah, we're
Yes.
both on that natural path, which I'm super excited about. I just had, I talked to Dr. Andrea and just had that complete hysterectomy, so I'm a little right now, but
I get it.
we're
I get it.
edging out a little bit, and, um,
Yeah. And
yeah.
that is one thing, like I always say with tips from Tia, and it's so funny. So many people, forget what that middle word is. It's tips from me, not to me or, for me. I love when people, they're not for me, they're for you. So they're from me. Um,
I will never forget that now.
Yeah, well, that's how I break it down. It makes it a lot easier. We're like, oh, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
yeah, so like having those kinds of backgrounds with I speak with a lot of medical professionals, I'm always, telling people, talk to your doctor. I'm always researching, what kind of natural ways to do certain things.
Mm,
So, I think that it's important, to understand your body. A lot of people don't take the time to do that, you know, and then you have people that do that and then they become hyper aware. So, there's got to be a fine balance. Like you really just got to understand your body and kind of understand that it changes on a fairly regular basis. So,
Yeah.
knowing that there is homeopathic and Western medicine and it can come together and make this beautiful thing for your body is super important. That's the way that I practice anyway. So, just do your research. If
Yeah.
something doesn't sound right, you gotta, dive deeper into it. But you know, bless you on everything with the hysterectomy. I hope you're doing well. That is a huge change. And it's instantaneous,
It is. I
you
woke
know?
up and the nurse was like, "Welcome to menopause."
Yeah. Like, hello,
I was like, "Why am I
here's your
sweating
lay.
so bad?"
You want a cocktail? It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess I know we're just having a conversation, but, did they, talk you into doing, any HRT or, are you going
So,
natural with that?
I went
Bioidentical?
natural. I went natural because of the MS and the other, condition that I have. My immune system's already very low, so
Hmm.
I take a lot of natural things to keep my immune system at least even or, so I'm not getting sick all the time.
Right.
But I did not want a prescription because there's way too many side effects to taking, prescribed estrogen or prescribed, progesterone or, stuff like that. So I did go the, Chinese medicine way, like
Okay.
with the horny goat and the ashwagandha and, just a proprietary blend of, some Chinese herbs and stuff like that, which, um, I feel like they've helped,
Awesome.
The
That's
first
important.
yeah, because the first couple of weeks, I was every day, it was a hot flash, it was like, "Oh, humdiddly dinger, here we go again," you know? It was
Well, that's not too bad. I mean, I've heard other people have a lot more words to say than humdickle. Can't even
well,
say it. I can't even repeat it.
I
That
I,
was great.
I just don't, I try not to get too overly dramatic about it because I'm in pain
Mhm.
all the time, and that's not something I like to, put out there, but, I mean, it is
Right.
reality for me.
Hmm.
But I'm at the point where I'm at, a good pain tolerance, and so having that menopause kinda threw me over what I was had my body trained to tolerate,
Oh,
and so when I started taking those, like, I got them in my system, I by the 3rd, 4th week, I was only having 1 hot flash a week. So,
that's beautiful.
yeah, and
And every woman that has gone through a hot flash is like, TJ.
yeah, I
Because
mean
like there's women out there that are having like 50 of them a day,
yeah.
which is
Which was the first
horrible.
couple of weeks, I felt like I was like, "What is going on here? I should be able to lose weight like nothing because I was sweating so much." And then I gained weight, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, like, what is going on?" So, yeah, my doctor and I sat down and we're like, "Okay, let's just" there's a lot of factors involved, so we'll
Right.
figure it out. I'm a blessed person, so I know it'll all work out. I'm not too worried about it, Um
Absolutely.
we keep
But
moving through the day like we're not sick, we just keep going.
yeah, for sure. And, I always tell women, with that, don't feel like it's a badge of honor to do it on your own. Like, definitely
Right,
get the help that you need, because there are so many ways to alleviate those symptoms and the discomfort and you got to remember it's your whole body has changed, and it goes from some people they still have some kind of hormone kicking in because they still have an ovary or they're just going
right,
through the change or something like that. And then you have others that are completely depleted and they need to go on to an HRT or a supplement of some sort because the body needs that.
mhm,
It needs those hormones to
it
actually be
does,
able to function, especially for younger women, there are cases where, it's rare, but there's cases where women at younger ages, go through that. And, it's, you need that supplement because your body needs it still, and it's super
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
I would encourage my listeners to go listen to the episode with Miss Emily White because she actually went through menopause and they didn't know what it was for years. And she started going through it at 16. She may
Yeah.
have been 14. And her life and the blessings she has had is just amazing. But that's you can go look that episode up if
I
you
was
want
going
to
to say,
listen to it. But
who was that again?
yeah,
Repeat that.
it was Miss Emily White. We
Emily
talk
White.
yeah, we
Well, we
talk a
have
lot about
me and Miss
IVF.
Emily White have something in common, and
Yeah,
it's super rare. But uh, just it depletes the system, and it's
yeah,
POI, and it just
yeah,
depletes the system, and nobody understands it because it's. I remember with mine, it was like, no way, there's no way this is possible, and all of that stuff. But and then all of a sudden they did this test and they were like, oh my gosh, that's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
And, because
yeah,
everything else seems to be functioning, you just have like these weird things that happen, like, you know,
right.
strange periods or, like I had trouble with pregnancies and, so it was just wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that really, I know the show's about soul hygiene, so everyone's always like, well, what does this have to do with soul hygiene? Everything has to do with soul hygiene, right? Every single thing. Because I found out like when I started the menopause, when those first 2 weeks were just horrible,
Hmm.
but I had created that meditation technique I told you about, a few years ago, and it really helped me ground myself, ground my emotions, get through the hot flash until the next one. And I was meditating all the time to get through these hot flashes, but
Yeah.
what I found out is that, by the 3rd or 4th week when I'm only having 1 or 2 a week, I'm still meditating. I'm still, you know, listening to myself, listening to my body. And
Right.
that's where soul hygiene comes into play. If we're listening to ourselves and not letting our feelings control us, not letting our emotions control us.
Hmm.
So that's where soul hygiene comes into the menopause and the journey itself.
Right. Well, I think it's important too because, as women, it's, is what we were created to do. We were created to reproduce. We were created
Mm.
to, have these certain functions. And then when that's taken away, it it changes everything. So it does go all the way down to the soul. I've talked with people where they feel like they don't have purpose anymore or they end up going into a really deep depression. I think for you, I think you look fantastic. I think I
Thanks.
think you're glowing over there. And I've seen women, I've talked with women where it's like they were zapped. It was like you would think that the soul almost left the body, and you have to
Yeah,
you have to really bring them back into a space of purpose, and allow them to start to feel good again and have
right.
meaning and stuff like that. So I'm
Yeah.
proud of you, girl. I'm
Oh,
super
thank you
proud of you.
so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And I think the one thing that I've tried to tell other women is that it's okay to feel bad. It's
Hmm.
okay to feel that way. Like I don't know what I'm going to do now. I don't know, where I'm supposed to go. I don't have this reproductive, system in me anymore. This is okay. That's all right.
Right.
You can feel that way. And I usually tell them, you know, I give them the meditation technique, which has really helped some of them, and I'm like, "Really think about where you want to go from here.
Hmm.
Think about your hobbies, find a passion,
Right.
take your mind off of it," because I encourage them, "You have the strength inside of you. You're gonna be
Hmm.
okay," you know?
Absolutely.
And, I just I'm so surprised at some of the women who are just like they really do pick up their bootstraps and they just keep going.
What you gotta
And
do. That's what
that's what
that's what we were
that's what we
created to do.
do, right? Right.
Yes.
And,
And I love that you're talking about the meditation because I was reading about the monks. They did this study with pain at MIT, and the monks they took like, we'll just say it was like the number was like 300 monks, but we'll just say like 30 monks and 30 regular people, and they strapped them up and they said, okay, you when you hear this sound, you're going to feel pain, and they would play the sound and they would shoot them with a little bit of paint, and they watched the brain activity. And for the monks who were meditating, it was, they felt the pain, it lit up, and then it was gone. For regular people, it lit up and it stayed
and it
lit.
stayed. Yeah,
They were caught in the trauma of the pain.
yeah,
And that's what happens when we're not disciplined, in our meditations, in our mind. And it's super important to make sure that we are caring for ourselves, because it's a snowball effect happens, as you know, through like my TEDx. I talk about stress, and the fact that it was discovered that at some point I had a heart attack, and um I don't know when, they don't know when, it's one of those things. But they do believe that it was related to, this condition, from losing the hormones. And that's another reason why you have to take care of your body, because obviously we didn't know. And I was so young. I had to start to supplement pretty early on, and that also protects my heart. It protects my organs, so making sure that you're taking care of your body, it's got to be a well-oiled machine. And that includes the
right,
mind, body, and spirit. And
right,
there's your soul hygiene.
right. Exactly, exactly. And it's the trifecta, right? I mean, we can take care of our bodies. I gave the analogy to Mr. Herb last night, which that's another podcast episode coming, which I'm pretty excited about. But I told him, I said, if we walk outside and we're looking good and we're smelling good and that's our hygiene that everyone can see, okay, we're taking care of our body, but how does our soul look?
Right.
How does our spirit look? Are we mindful? Are we conscious, like really conscious of what's going on around us? And you're right. Like, I probably would not have made it through these last couple of months in menopause had I not meditated, because it
Right.
grounds you. It helps clear your mind of all the discombobulated messes that are in there.
For sure.
Um, but yeah, I'm a blessed person anyway. Since I've been on my intentional healing journey, I don't know, I just don't let a lot of things bother me. But
I
um
know. Well, if anybody's going to teach soul hygiene, I always say you are the right person for the job,
oh,
because you just beam, girl.
oh,
Like from the first moment I met you, you just glow. Your soul is shining
mm,
through, and I think that is beautiful what you do. You talk about, these struggles openly, and I think that you have the capability of helping a lot of people through
I
that
I
journey.
sure hope so. I sure hope so. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all about truth, right? It's all about getting to the nitty-gritty of who we are. I mean,
Hmm.
and once we do that, how can we not help other people? Right?
It's true.
It's kind of like
I
that
think,
progression.
I think that's our purpose.
Yeah,
Obviously with my website and everything, I do the
it
tips
is.
on everything from, health, beauty, life, home, sexual health, mental health. I really believe it's important to make the uncomfortable comfortable.
Right.
Um, People going out there and getting the wrong information, I really wanted to make a trusted resource for people, because there's a lot of information out there, and everybody, what's that saying? Everybody's searching for wisdom when we're over inundated with information. It's just it's really true. And
Yeah.
let's take the guesswork out of it. Oh, it's already trusted, it's already been tested. I think that we need to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves
Yeah.
in that capacity. And by doing that, it also includes helping other people. And that's what I do. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And it
And it
really feeds
helps
the soul.
us, right? It
Yeah, it
helps
really
us.
feeds our souls.
That's one thing I have, told my listeners from the beginning. When you're, in a servitude kind of mode, right, where you're wanting to help people, but you are in pain or you've gone through things, it's almost like a cure.
Mhm.
That's your cure. Because I can tell you when I'm feeling down and I go to help somebody else and I see them smile and that spark and them light up, it instantly helps me. Instantly takes away whatever I was dealing with, you
Yes.
know? So, yeah, you're so extremely right. Like I don't know, like that's the best feeling in the world for
It
someone to say,
is.
"Hey, you made a difference," you know? That's
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
We're the type of people that we enjoy giving almost more than receiving, you know.
Yeah.
I'm learning we have to be receivers too, you know. We have
Right.
to,
I'm
we
learning
have
that
to
too.
allow that to happen,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we need other people to feel good too. And
Right.
by allowing us to receive, we're helping them out. So,
I try to
we're
fill
taking
my
care of their
cup
soul.
up. Yeah, I try to fill my cup up first so that I
Mhm.
have it to give. And I think that's when I'm
Absolutely.
receiving, I'm filling that cup so I can just let it all out and pour out all my love to everybody.
Oh yes. I was gonna say I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah,
As I talked
I know.
about like with the TEDx, it's like you have to resupply yourself because you won't have it
Mhm.
to give to anybody else, if you're
Yeah.
not taking care of yourself. And that's self-care. It's so important, you know.
Yes, for
Make sure
sure.
you're practicing that self-care. So
Yes. Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited. We're gonna have to figure out when we can do another episode because, you know,
we have a
I like
million
enjoy
things to
so
talk about.
much. I know. I know. We could have a whole like hour show, just me and you just jabbering back and forth for sure.
Probably.
Um,
Next time we'll really get into some tips, but I wanted to make sure that you are doing well after,
oh,
what you've gone through, and just know that I'm sending love and prayers and blessings
always
and all that your
right
way.
back at you. Right back
Oh,
at you, beautiful.
thanks.
So if anyone can you give the people like maybe some contact information, your website where they can get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Well, there's tipsfromtia.com. Yeah, and then I also for like my public speaking and for all the voice coaching and different things that I do, it's tiacristy.com, and that's TIACRISTY.com. I had to make it a little bit more difficult to find, but it's
And
there.
I'll put it all in the bio as well so they
Yes.
know.
Awesome. And then also all the social medias, it is Tips from Tia, at Tips from Tia. So I'm on Facebook, Twitter, or X, I should say, Instagram, and I just started a TikTok. So my
I saw
goodness.
I saw a few of them, so I was excited that you started
Yes.
one. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, Tia, the dancing queen, I'm
Love
like
it.
tips are flying through, and I'm dancing around. So yeah, it's entertaining. Let's just put it that way.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I was excited to share you with the world, and so such a
Thank you.
beautiful person, a beautiful smile, and
Oh,
if you want to reach out to her, go to her website. You're gonna find a ton of information, and she's already done her research, so you know it's true. If there's anyone I trust, it would be Miss Tia. So,
thank you.
but
Thank you so much.
yeah, and
And it's such
we're
a
gonna
pleasure being
definitely
here.
have you
Thank you.
back. We're
Thank you for
definitely
having
gonna
me.
have to do another one, so for sure.
Excellent.
Well,
I
thank
look
you so
forward to
much,
it.
everyone, for joining us for another episode of Soul Hygiene. Have a wonderful day.